These Can-Am type cars, of course, made their name over in America and Canada with Denny Hulme and Bruce McLaren and Jackie Stewart, John Surtees, all competing in what was a very exciting series. We are aboard a man who also could be a front runner here, Richard Dodkins, and Dodkins seemingly having a problem there. A little metallic clank there. I'm not so sure he hasn't lost a wheel nut or something. Anyway, that's going to cause him more than a few problems before the start, as up they come. The blue car of Richard Eyre, the yellow car of Charles Agg, Dave Franklin there, also the other man to keep an eye to, and having a look. Yes, that's what it is. We were right. It is a wheel nut, and there'll be a struggle to put that on, and then perhaps get on with the race. There's a circlip that keeps the thing in position. If he's got all that together, he might be able to get it done with the aid of the marshals. So round they come. And the Lola there, you can see the BRM easy to pick up with the red and green front there. A little Acela losing out a little bit in the drag race, as you'd expect, and straight into the lead. Richard Eyre closing in behind him, David Franklin. And these cars are exciting to watch. The heyday of 2-litre racing, of course, in the 70s. That's why we've got so many of those beautiful little 2-litre chevrons all around about the same time. But on a circuit like Silverstone, the big V8s, the McLarens, and the Lola are going to be the real class of the field. And there's the BRM tucked up behind there. The Acela already lost his lead in the class at the moment. As down the hanger straight, under the bridge, here comes Charles Agg. And Charles slots himself into second place round Stoke Corner. And don't forget that this is as it was, so to speak. Up now towards Club. They haven't got the dip and the swerves that they have on the Grand Prix circuit that they use nowadays, because frankly the oil surge on some of the slower cars, the older cars, causes problems. So that's why they don't do that. They have this special circuit for historic cars. But Richard Eyre having a special little go of his own. But look at this, a good hard charge there as John Hunt really trying to displace that third place McLaren. Hasn't succeeded yet, but he's not the one of trying. The BRM well up. And there is Cuesta, the BMW. Roundel you can see on the front of the beautiful B16 Chevron, arguably one of the prettiest cars ever made. McLarens and the BRM there. Joost Pellish making a dive on the inside as they came out of Woodcut there to displace John Hunt. But Hunt doesn't want to know about that. Keeps the door shut. Pellish has another look into Cox. Front end of the car touching the ground and sparks coming up, but that's not worrying him too much. Guido Rosler in the old McLaren there loses it onto the grass and doesn't stall the engine, so he's away. Number 3 worth keeping an eye to. That's the turbocharged McLaren. Martin Bolsover. Behind him, incidentally, was John Hugenholtz, the son of the man who built the Zandvoort circuit. But Charles Agg not making the sort of impression that Charles Agg would like to make on Richard Eyre. Make no mistake about it, one thing in this world that Charlie doesn't like is being in second place. One thing that no driver likes is being in the pits. And the man in the pits there is Richard Dodkins, who we saw in problems on the warming up lap, having that wheel checked over before he goes out to complete a few laps. And getting a bit closer. Sheer power of these engines, and the blocks for them were made by Reynolds Aluminium. And so they were very, very different from the normal V8 block. This particular car of Charles Agg's was, I believe, a spare car left hanging on the wall at Trojan, which is Agg's company, who manufactured these cars, which were made in considerable numbers to go over to the Can-Am races. Charles there, a little bit of understeer, you'll see as he went in. These cars, with so much power, you have to be very, very careful. He's closed the gap right up into Beckett's here, into the right and left-handers, but he's not having the easiest of paths to find a way by, I'm quite sure, because it's all very quick, and Richard Eyre knows he's there and can occupy just about as much track as he needs. This is Richard Dodkins, camera car, of course, and we lost him from the race fairly early on. But at least we get a chance to see what it's like behind the wheel of a McLaren. Mark 8C McLaren. And here's pressure time. Feel the power coming on there, and notice how he balances it up a gear, out now down the hanger straight, and another gear, and under braking. You can see the car there, the blue car with the white front, AT&T car coming down there. The line must be right. If it's not right, you've got a problem. Gaily coloured number 11, Peter Hoffman. And here's a real battle. That's John Sheldon, the flying dentist, holding off Dieter Quester. Both of these guys very experienced indeed. Big sports car racers. And Dieter doesn't make that one. The Dieter's coming up for a bit of lappery here. And this could favour the second place man, but on the other hand, you never know. Actually, it favours nobody. The back marker kept well out of the way. Charles, in fact, had a good look at the inside, but decided that discretion was the better part of valour and to leave well alone. Just about a car's length back. Ginetta there to be overtaken. And onto the hanger straight. And now the big V8 picks up its heels and away to go. The V8 Chevron and the Ginetta very close together. And past go the two McLarens. And under braking, you can see just how much more braking they've got from the little Chevron, number 77. Hanging on to his place, but quite powerless to do anything about it, Rolf Lamberty. And really trying. There's just no way, however, he's been able to get onto terms. And the man watching it all behind must be having quite a giggle, David Franklin. Ed Swart, who's been driving that car since it was new. And back to the leaders once again in the traffic with 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go, and the Porsche 908 in front of them there. 1 McLaren passed, 2 McLaren passed, and the third one about to follow suit. And Franklin can stay with them, but he can't actually get onto terms with them. Earlier McLaren about to be swallowed up. Notice the total difference in the line here. And this was a development period of around about 4 years or so. And here, really going hard, Richard Dodkins. Dodkins closing in on a T3 Lola ahead of him. T70 Mark III, past it, as you'd expect, through Abbey. And this is the exciting bit for drivers, where they come under the bridge and the road goes right and comes right away, and you can't really see that it's coming right away, but it dips down into the left-hander as we go back to the leaders once again, well into this penultimate lap. And Charles Agg is leaving it pretty late if he's going to do anything, and I don't think he can. That's John Hunt, who's dropped back, goes past a little V8 Chevron there. Same car that we saw before, in fact, being lapped. But Hunt not on terms with the 3 McLarens, who are running nose and tail, line ahead, but it doesn't seem to me as if Charles Agg has left it all to the last lap. I think that, in fact, he's going to be very, very lucky if he can do without a battle from behind. You can see how close they are. You'll see the flash of the red nose there of Franklin's car. All the pressure in the world can't dislodge Richard Eyre, who streaks down the straight there. Here's Quester, and locking up there, John Sheldon, trying to stay with him, and the Osella there in 3rd place, so that's a good battle. It looked like Ed Swart in 4th place in the class. Bill Buck getting the tail out of number 80 V8 Chevron there. It gets it back together again, and here's the BRM. Whoops, behind him there. And that, I'm afraid, is the end of John Hunt's chances. He's spun it away, collects it back together again, but he's lost his 4th place. So the leader's now into Stowe for the last time. And these 3 close together, but Hunt now placed further back in the BRM in a firm 4th place. So Richard Eyre leads Charles Agg, David Franklin and Just Kalish now in the BRM in 4th place as they come up for the final time into and out of Abbey. Line ahead, Charles Agg looks. He's left it very late if he's going to make an effort. And there's no room there. These are big cars, they need all the road. And the braking side of it. If two cars are evenly matched like this, there's nothing very much that Charles Agg can do. He's going to try and close up as they come out and try and have a look at the inside, no doubt, as they come into Woodcote Corner. He can place it right. But as you can see, he did all the road as he came out. Looks at a tighter line, but oh no, I knew you were going to do that. So Richard Eyre closes the door. Out comes the flag. Eyre wins. Agg second. Franklin third. Canish in fourth place. John Hunt fifth. And Cuesta winning his class in sixth place. Here's the BRM. That car once was at the bottom of the harbour. Was fetched up again, dried out, and is still in one piece. So let's have a look at the final result. And this is it. Richard Eyre, Charles Agg, David Franklin.